You're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at TheSlowRidePod. Enjoy the ride.
Start whenever you like.
Hello and welcome to the 78th episode of the Slow Ride Podcast. Cats. God damn it. Hey Spencer, I need you to edit this one.
Okay,
Are we sponsored by Cannondale now?
Hello and welcome to the 78th episode of the Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, rumors straight from the source, and all of your Kona triathlon update needs.
Oh, good.
This is Tim Hayes in Orlando, Florida.
It's the little guy in the dining room plugging in a lamp.
All right. And this is Spencer Howe in Boston, Massachusetts, the homeland of cyclocross.
Well, guys, I gotta say it was a fantastic week. I'm a little jet lagged since our last episode, which I thought went off really, really well, especially the second edition that was updated. But I really enjoyed how we had all those great interviews from Richmond that were thrown on there.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of cool stuff. So good job editing that one, Spencer, in all sincerity.
Yep.
And little guy, I really enjoyed the bike building that you were doing after throughout the episode. That was fantastic.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know. You're welcome.
So last week, as you guys know, I was in Kona, and I just want to give you a quick update. I have a lot of respect for Ironman athletes, especially those that are in the top half. There's a distinct difference.
Good ones.
The good ones. 2.5 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then a marathon. That is fairly impressive, and I do believe that they deserve a little bit of a shout out. So congratulations to the winners and then all of the top competitors. The question for me is, there's also
But not at all to those people in the back 50%. Screw those idiots.
No. I give them a lot of respect, but just because they have more fortitude than myself, I would have quit, right?
I would have died. I wouldn't have quit. I would have died before I even thought about quitting. I'd be like, I should probably quit, and I would drown.
We're talking there's 80-year-old folks doing this. I can only hope that when I'm 80 years old that I'm able to do something like that. So all in all, I was impressed. It was a lot of fun. I have a lot of respect for the people that were out there in Kona. But then we can talk about their goofy bikes with the hydration systems integrated into the top two. We can talk about the compression sleeves and all that. But, it was a fun event. I'm happy that I got to go see it.
All right. We're all happy for you.
So I don't really have much else to say about Kona unless you guys have actual questions about it.
How many pairs of board shorts did you buy?
I did not have very many. I was okay. But it was really hot and muggy. They said it was the hottest Ironman on record. And that, pretty crazy. We had a listener tweet us that was actually in one of the support vehicles in a Dodge Caravan following the race, jumping in and out, fixing flat tires. I really like the idea of an old Dodge Caravan. I hope it had fake wood paneling.
The race caravan had a Dodge Caravan? That's pretty sweet. Wow.
Very exciting. So
That's good.
Anyway, but one thing I did want to get on, guys, when I was flying back from Honolulu, it was a direct flight to Chicago. I was lucky enough to get an upgrade to fancy business class where you have your own private TV and remote control. And now, little guy, business class, I don't know if you know this, but there's first class, which is ultra bougie. And then there's business class, which is kind of that mid-level. And then you get...
Little guy, I want to interject
you tell me.
Little guy, airplanes are these metal tubes that fly through the air, in the sky. They're hard to see sometimes, but you can hear them.
Mm-hmm. I've been in one of those.
So I was lounging about in my business class seat, and so basically they had an episode of the Velon TV, which is a 30-minute episode following professional cycling, which was pretty cool.
Real?
Yeah.
I've never actually tried to look for that or find that or anything. That's real.
Yeah, they have a couple of the episodes up on YouTube. It's like, they're the group that has all the cameras on the bikes and everything. So the episode was like interviewing the Tinkoff Saxo chef. And then they had a little interlude with that Italian guy for Garmin that won the big stage at the Giro. The like 15-year-old kid or whatever.
He looks like he's about 12, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What's his name again?
I don't know.
David from Formilio.
Yeah, something like that.
No, Formilio or something.
So they interviewed, him. Anyways, it was a good story, but the kicker was that they had an 1.5-hour documentary on there, and I think it was a French public television documentary in which they followed a guy from Breton Sachet. They followed a mayor of the small town that for 10 years was trying to get the tour to stop into his city, and that was the stage where Froome and Nairo traded attacks with Froome taking the win. And then they talked to various other people within the caravan, like the publicity caravan, and they talked to a podium girl all about their responsibilities throughout the tour. So it was like a day in the life of each person over the course of the tour. It was really interesting. The publicity caravan, that's that multi-kilometer long parade of cars where they throw out like gummy bears and everything.
Mostly
And
gummy bears.
They don't actually throw gummy
No,
bears.
they do. They whip it at the people, like
They
because the
whip
cars
it
are
at
going.
the people.
The car is going by at like 30 miles an hour, and they're like tossing the little sample pack of gummy bears or cheese, and oh man, it hits people.
It's
It's pretty good. And
fromage.
she even says she's like, I tried to throw it on the ground. So, anyways, really cool.
I can tell you, I just went to the Velon website and they
Yeah.
got a nice gallery. But they've got the best part is if you go to the Lotto Sodell page, they've got those great pictures where they're playing like celebrity connect the dots or something, and they're all like in their little cages.
Yeah.
Just go there and look at the pictures. It's so great.
I will, because
Yeah.
I will say it was.
Hanson's all curled up. Hanson's all curled up like a little baby.
I'm going to have to find that link and I'll send it out to everybody. But anyways, it was a pretty cool documentary. The best part about the documentary, though, was that it was lip synced, or not lip synced, but dubbed. Sorry. And so, like, if it was like two French women talking, it would be in English, but they'd be very like trying to be unique in the voices. It was pretty cool. So, anyways, but I know that's not the biggest movie on everybody's mind. No one cares about that one. Everyone cares about the one that's coming out very soon.
Is there a new Pixar film coming out or something?
It's almost as
May
good as
as well
it is.
be, yeah.
Are you guys excited about the new Lance Armstrong movie, aka The Program?
The program.
I'm afraid of it, though Betsy Andreu says it's good, so she must like the point of view of the movie, which I would probably agree with. I'm not saying I wouldn't agree with that, but
I am super stoked for this movie. I am excited for it. How about you, Spencer?
don't you think it's gonna be painful to watch?
No, man.
I'm curious.
Because we know how it ends. Like it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
How is that good?
Because I think
Don't you
that
like a
there's-
little mystery in your movies? Like if there was
Okay.
a Davide Rebelin movie, we wouldn't know how it ended because he'll keep cycling forever.
When we all went to the theaters in middle school to see Titanic with our girlfriend, and try to hold hands, we all knew how that movie was going to end.
Okay,
doesn't
so
really
we all know how
matter.
Titanic was
I didn't have a girlfriend during when the Titanic was big.
Oh,
He
Thanks
was
for
out
bringing
there.
up my horrible youth. But guys, that movie, like, there's so much about it. You got the Floyd Landis guy. He's like the only redhead in Hollywood, it seems, that's playing Floyd Landis. He's the guy from Friday Night Lights. Landry from Friday Night Lights. And then
look
you've got
familiar.
Ben Foster playing Lance. And I don't know, I'm sold. You have Dustin Hoffman as the guy from SCA Promotions, the lawyer that was really going after him. I don't know. I'm
What?
super stoked.
nice. Yeah, I'm pretty into it. Like a lot of the period piece bikes and jerseys and all that stuff. It looks like they pretty much nailed a lot of the details, which is good. Because that's the thing. What we're all gonna try to pick apart. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Well,
and I don't
So
know.
on cycling movies, and we'll get back to the Lance movie, but where do you anticipate this movie falling? So first off, Spencer, what's your favorite cycling movie of all time?
Rad, without a
Rad.
doubt.
Without a doubt. Okay.
Oh,
And I knew
really?
that was coming. And you saw the news that Crew Jones, the guy that played Crew Jones, is starring in a new BMX movie
Bill Allen?
next year. Yeah, Bill Allen's going
That's
to be in a new
awesome.
movie. Yeah. So, little guy, what's your favorite cycling movie?
I have this video called BMX Extreme. That's my favorite cycling movie.
So my favorite cycling movie, obviously, is Breaking Away, and I like American Flyers. I hope that this
American Flyers is really
Wait,
good. I'll give you
Tim.
that.
Yeah.
Did you really not pick Quicksilver?
Oh man, Quicksilver or Premium Rush. Those
No.
are two great movies.
Premium Rush
I
is
haven't seen
terrible, but
those.
I thought for
there's a
sure
lot.
you were going to
Premium
pick
Rush?
Quicksilver.
Okay, Spencer, ask me again.
What's your favorite movie, Tim?
Oh, that's an easy one. Quicksilver. It's got
All right.
Kevin Bacon. It's amazing.
You don't need 6 degrees for that one. No.
No, I mean that's got everybody. It's got Nelson Vales. It's oh, what a classic. So
Yeah. I have that on VHS, and I have not owned a VHS player in like 10 years. So
mean-
that tells you something.
other great cycling movies have come out too, right? We've got the
There's
lesser
a-
movies.
There's a
American-
really good one that probably nobody has seen actually called 2 Seconds. About
that was good. Yeah.
It's a French movie and it's overdubbed, but it's
No,
about
it's Canadian. It's French.
Well,
Canadian.
yeah, Montreal, but it's in French, and
think
it's
it's in
overdubbed.
French.
Anyway, you're making this take a lot longer than
I'm
we need to.
calling your bluff. I'm calling your bluff. It's not overdubbed. Anyway, go on.
It's subtitled.
So
Fuck's sake. Anyway, it's about a woman pro downhiller who has to retire and she doesn't know what to do, so she becomes a bike messenger. And it's a kind of an interesting movie, so check it out.
all right, I'll watch that one. And then so I guess we just came up with a pretty decent list. I mean, there's other good movies. Triplets of Belleville.
Yeah.
We've got
You know,
any of the documentaries that have come out that we've talked about on here many times. Those are good.
Yeah. Hell on Wheels,
Oh yeah, I mean there's
Overcoming
there's some
Sunday in Hell.
solid movies
Sunday
out.
in Hell.
Premium Rush, I didn't mind that one. It's got
You know,
Gordon Levitt in it. I thought it was okay.
I've never seen that one, and I kind of didn't go out of protest, and I kind of want to see it, but I don't want to stoop to that level, I guess.
I mean,
or something.
there's clearly some plot holes in it, but it's it's a good movie.
Because Quicksilver just kind of just flows all together.
It does.
It makes
My
sense.
favorite part about Quicksilver is that most people think that it takes place in New York City because of the whole stock exchange story, but it actually takes place in San Francisco at the little-known San Francisco Stock Exchange.
All right, Spencer, you're right. It was in French. I'm wrong. You're right.
I
didn't
know
know
that. I just didn't want to rub it in, but that's
Little guy, that is always going to be put on the next version of the Slow Ride podcast sampler. So which just came out with a new one. And we'll get to that in a second. But guys, Lance Armstrong, the program movie, is it thumbs up already before you see it, or thumbs down? Thumbs up, way up for me.
I'm thinking.
It's good.
Really?
It can't fail.
Yeah, I'm thinking thumbs up. I gotta go see it. It it has to test positive, right? Like it's thumbs up all around.
Oh,
Oh, nice. Well
is
done.
it going to be in theaters, or is this a video on demand sort of thing?
Well, this is straight in theaters. I mean, this is
It'll be there for at least a week or
possibly
two.
to the theaters.
Academy Award conversation, from what I hear.
Oh, please! That cannot be
Not
true.
for the screenwriting or anything, but for the special effects.
special effects.
Getting Ben Foster to ride up mountains super fast.
So-
That's pretty good.
So, little guy, you excited for it or no?
No, I'm not excited for it.
So the only movie that I was really excited for, guys, that failed miserably was the Omni Theater production of the Tyler Hamilton story when he broke his collarbone in 2004
how could
tour,
that not be good?
because they cut out all of the Tyler Hamilton references and then focused it 100% on Jimmy Casper, because they didn't want to bring up the conversation about the whole doping thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about the effects of cycling on the brain. And Casper, of course, you may remember, actually ends up in the neck brace from the race.
I don't remember that. Why did he end up in a neck brace?
Because he had that big crash in stage 1 when Levi went out and Tyler broke his collarbone.
Oh, well, he went down in that. Okay.
So anyway, all right.
So yeah, so we're all agreed. Rad is the best movie cycling related. That there's no debate there. But what is up for debate is some of the things around the program. Ben Foster actually said that he did some EPO to see what it was like to get into the mind of Lance Armstrong and all this stuff, like kind of weird stuff. And I was thinking, that's a pretty bold move for an actor, but I guess that's what you got to do.
Got to live the part.
Right. But I was like, is he the right guy? Maybe he's not. I don't know. And it threw all these questions in the air, and I started thinking, if I was the producer of that, who would I cast in these roles? And I don't know. I was going to throw that over to you guys too, and see if there were any changes you would make to this lineup.
Well, I would personally, I would keep Ben Foster as Lance, but I would bring in Tyler Hamilton as Tyler and Floyd Landis as Floyd, and just go straight biopic, like where they're in it, like make it super meta, like so Floyd is playing a version of himself.
Interesting.
That would be good. I don't even want to answer now. I think that's probably the best possible answer.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I was thinking Tyler Hamilton would be played by Nick Cage.
Oh, that could be a good one. That could be a really good one.
You don't think he'd be a better Landis? I think he'd be a better Landis, personally.
Maybe. I was thinking actually another Nick for Landis. I was thinking Nick Nolte.
Ooh.
I don't know,
Tyler,
because he can do the crazy look.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Gary Busey?
Maybe, but
they're both. I think they're pretty equal in that. I think we should get the. Do you guys remember the guy from Swing Kids, the guitar player from Swing Kids?
No. What is Swing Kids? Is that a ska band?
You never saw Swing Kids? I swear to God, I watched Swing Kids in every history class I had from 7th grade until like 10th grade. We watched Swing Kids because it was about World War II, and it was feel good. They were Nazis, then they weren't Nazis. They learned to overcome Nazis.
You sound like you had an amazing substitute teacher that just like pulled out the VHS tape whenever they were in class.
You wouldn't know anything about that. No, I literally watched it multiple years in a row. I've never seen Swing Kids not in a school environment over multiple days. There's a guy, he's the guitar player. He should be Tyler.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go look.
You guys
that
haven't
one up.
seen Swing Kids,
so
I think.
Well, guys, I'm excited about the movies. I think we need to get the conversation everyone wants to talk about.
All right.
Abu Dhabi.
Oh,
No,
man.
I actually am going to boycott talking about Abu Dhabi. So you guys can talk about it without me, but it's stupid, and we should talk about all the cool Euro races that occurred, and all the good riders were unfortunately at Abu Dhabi. Holy crap! Christian Bale was in Swing Kids, you guys.
So, what? Like, little guy, I know you don't want to talk too much about Abu Dhabi, but there are a couple of things that do need to be
I think
mentioned.
you didn't want to talk about it at all.
First off, Abu Dhabi had the UCI Cycling Gala, and Peter Sagan, of course, came dressed up like a rock star, not in a suit and tie like everybody else.
Good for him.
Kind of came.
Was it at a
rocking out.
bowling alley like the MCF banquet?
And then the
Is
one
it
cool
still
thing
in a
though was
bowling alley?
I don't know. I haven't been to it in years.
one cool thing was the final stage had live onboard cameras being used in the coverage.
That's impossible.
First time. So it was like an F1 race, but it was taking place on the F1 course. So maybe that had something to do with how they were able to get the coverage from the live camera to the broadcast feed. So anyway,
I thought
Abu Dhabi.
the coolest
Viviani
part about
takes
that was when Peter Sagan did an exchange in the pit lane of the F1 course. Did you see that?
Oh, I did not.
He swapped
Are you
bikes
serious?
and helmets in pit row.
During the race?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. How about the picture of Peter Sagan on top of the camel in the World Championships
Oh, yeah.
race?
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty good.
This sounds like a really captivating race. Was there a bike race there, or was it just
and
bullshit
Tom
stunts?
Boonen crashed out, and he's out for 6 months easily. They said it was one of the worst
That's
crashes he's
Pretty
ever
much
had.
the worst thing ever. Oh.
So that's very sad.
Can he can't every time he gets fit and our hopes get up that it's time for one last moment of Tom, something like this happens.
So 6 months from now, guys, I mean, we're looking at March, right? April?
Which means he will not be ready for spring next year, which means he'll retire. He'll have to do another year if we want to have another moment of Tom. It's been since 2012 since we've had a great moment of Tom.
It's kind of scary. Kind of sad.
He was looking really good
It is,
in Richmond as well. You know, he got in that late move, and I don't know. I think we were on a return to Tom Kid form, and
But this
now
is
it's gone out
why
the window because of some stupid race in the desert.
exactly he could have been in Europe racing Paris Tours, the Sprinters Classic. Instead, he was in Abu Dhabi, doing nothing, getting hurt, instead of racing an actual classic.
Yep.
Yeah. Very
I don't
sad.
know. It's bullshit. I really dislike this Abu Dhabi race.
They got that big money. They're probably paying all the start money and everything, and that's why the UCI Gala was there. And
but it's crazy because like Paris Tours should be a Pro Tour event, and it's not a Pro Tour event. And like you've got all these great little Italian one-day races.
What about Lombardy?
Lombardy's a World Tour event, but like they shook up the schedule so they could put this Abu Dhabi crap and other races that pay more money in there and take out all these small, like take away the limelight from these small Italian and French races that are like great ways to end the season and have all this history and have all these great winners. And instead you've got all the biggest riders racing in Abu Dhabi, and you've got no offense to the guys who like won Paris Tours, Trenton, obviously a good sprinter, or like Bachlands who won like Giro d'Amelia, but like those races used to be like Amelia used to be a sweet build up to Lombardy, and you'd have all the big Italian like heavy hitters there testing their form, and now it's second tier. I mean, that's where the Gummy Bear first shone.
That's where they used to have the debut of the World Championship jersey too, right? On those races.
Yeah.
It wasn't at Abu Dhabi.
And the best thing about the fact that you used to have Lombardy and Paris Tours at the end of the season as your two big final races. You had one for the climbers, one for the sprinters. So it didn't matter who became world champion that year. They had one big event to show the jersey.
Yep.
And this year, I mean, Abu Dhabi is not. It doesn't have the same prestige as doing like I don't know how old Paris Tour is, but it's very old, like a prestigious older classic with a really exciting final. It was the fastest race ever to like this year, over 200K. And instead, all the biggest riders are in Abu Dhabi, riding around in the flattest, most boring desert on earth.
Was this the first time Abu Dhabi's happened this late in the year?
It's the first time it's happened.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of Tour of Qatar. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, you're thinking of all the other petrodollar races that nobody gives a shit about.
We start in the desert and we end in the desert. That's how it goes.
So was there anything missing in the UCI awards that you guys noticed from the big awards evening? Because they're trying to make it like this big, NHL awards kind of thing.
Yeah, they went through and did all kinds of awards. Actually, they presented Peter Sagan officially with his jersey and everything, and they presented the individual World Tour classifications for the top three: Alejandro Valverde, Rodriguez, and then Nairo Quintana. They awarded the top team Movistar, the top nation Spain, the time trial world champion, the team world champion BMC. They did all this stuff. Let's see, anything else? Oh, they presented the Giro d'Italia winner, the Tour de France winner.
It's like a pretty broad list. Like they couldn't possibly have forgotten anything.
Well, they forgot every single female athlete. They did a men's hour record holder for Wiggins, and they did a women's hour record holder. But that was the only woman on this whole list. They did the top three World Tour individual classifications.
Hey, Spencer. Spencer.
Wait,
Spencer, stop.
Stop. Spencer.
What?
Spencer.
Why?
I'm sure they had a really good reason for that. Like they didn't have enough time or money or something.
It
Well,
was being the UCI.
I think all the women that weren't there, they claimed, the UCI claimed they invited all the ladies, but nobody could afford to go because it's Abu Dhabi.
Did they not have a race? The women didn't have a race either,
No.
so they didn't
They
have
never
a reason to go.
No. So that's kind of shady of the UCI to take all this money and then do their gala there, but not invite everybody. And then, you would think if you're going to do it out of the way like that, maybe you fly your women's stars in, and they can't even front the money for that. Like, that kind of sucks. Like, I don't know.
Are you surprised?
No. Not
Okay.
surprised, but it's still bullshit.
Still disappointed. Yeah.
So
That sounds pretty typical.
This is Eric Saunders. You're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast.
you guys, there was something else that happened this past weekend, right? The UCI debut of little guy Matt Allen
That happened.
at
Yeah.
the Trek Cup in Madison. Little guy. Saw a
My
photo
debut.
a bike. So it looks like you got your bike fixed in time.
Yep.
How did
got
it go?
all put together. It was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular. I got pulled with 2 to go both days, I think. So nothing amazing. I rolled both my tubulars right before the start on Saturday.
Wait, both?
Both.
Okay.
So I had to go B wheels.
Okay.
At the last minute, and you know how it is. The brakes were a little off, so it was a little weird Saturday. And I didn't. And you guys both know I race like crap on Saturdays.
Oh yeah, that's true. I can vouch.
So I raced better on Sunday, but somebody or something hit my front wheel in the mad scramble to the first corner, like when we all dove together. I think one of those neon guys whose kits I'm not going to name it. You know what I'm talking about, Spencer. Those guys who always crash me out. I think one of those guys
again
put his derailleur into my front wheel. But anyway, we came out of the first bit and got on the finishing, you did a little prologue and then came on the finishing straight, and my front wheel was wobbling from brake pad to brake pad.
Nice.
So that wasn't good. So I was the last rider down the finishing straight, like well off the back, riding with my wheel wobbling. And I went to the pit, and I didn't have pit wheels. I had to take one of the neutral wheels. And so that kind of took a little bit because
was it a disc through axle?
No, it wasn't. They actually had just like some sort of zip wheel, and it worked fine. And the tire was fine. It was just pumped up really high, so it was a little weird. It took a little time to get used to.
Yeah.
But I ended up like almost in the same place. Anyway, so it didn't really matter. But I caught some people, and I wasn't last place, so I was happy because somebody yelled that I was 30 seconds behind. By the time I came out of the pit, I was 30 seconds down on the person who was doing the worst at that point. And so they were pretty far behind. So I was far back. I had a lot of chasing to do. So it was exciting. It was a fun course this year. They changed a lot of stuff from last year. They had a cool run-up. That was a ton of fun, and
good.
they still had that crazy twisty descent thing, and it was good. I don't know.
Nice.
It was. I would have liked to have done better, but it was as good as I could before.
I flew out for that race one time to do the UCI race. I flew from Vegas to San Francisco for a wedding, stayed there for about 4 hours, and got on another plane and flew overnight to Milwaukee, where I got picked up from the airport and driven to Waterloo, where I did about a half a lap before I was going down that steep hill, grabbed my brakes, and the brake pad slipped into the front wheel somehow. And I flipped over the front of the bike and fucking landed on my back and was dead, basically, and then decided not to race since I was delirious from flying red eye anyway. It was awesome, but I remember that course being okay for the little bit that I did.
So Little Guy, did they send you through the factory this year? I heard that there was rumors that they were going to send someone through a factory.
No, you didn't go through the factory. You rode down next to the factory and were on their loading dock area before you shot up the run-up.
And the reason
you did not ride through the factory.
Because the Trek catalog, they had mentioned something about how they've been trying to get them through the factory, but the UCI has been shutting them down. And I was thinking about Jingo Cross, where they send them through the barn. I was like, how's that legal?
It's not. There's no possible way.
So that was cyclocross.
The Grinch's lair is not legal, right?
No, there's absolutely no way.
So, Little Guy, you were able to compete. That's fantastic. We got a tweet this week. Probably my favorite tweet was from Mark Bernard at mkid3, and he goes, "Hey guys, screw podium bikes. The new rage is registration bikes." And he provides a picture of people bringing their bikes to registration, so that's totally blocking everybody else from getting to the registration table.
Well, is that just so they can get a better a race number because it's by registration?
Yeah,
order?
registration whole shot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's they're going to just own it. Hey, I'm just going to occupy this area where other people are trying to walk through.
Yep.
And what's funny about that is that has affected all of us before, something like that. I've done it before. That one's that's the whole next level of podium bikes.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That was actually at the a local race out here called Minuteman Cyclocross Race, which I did this past Sunday. It was awesome. It was at a rival orchard, Little Guy, or nearby a rival orchard, which I stopped at.
Every orchard that's not my orchard is a rival orchard, no matter where they're. Geographically located.
Yeah.
I will crush them.
I bought some
will
cider
destroy them.
donuts and some apple cider.
You
little guys.
son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. I don't even have cider donuts. You
What is
son
a
of-
cider donut?
It's a
It's a
donut,
donut
with some
with
apple,
apple
cider.
cider.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, it's really good.
So anyway,
Never
I
had a
gotta
cider donut. My God.
I gotta talk about this race though a little bit because it was pretty rad. I did the one cog race. That was great. The racing itself was really good. The course is wonderful, fantastic, beautiful course. The promoters are amazing. They do a great job. Food trucks, everything's just wonderful. I can't say enough good things about this race.
Mm-hmm.
They staged me on the front row. I didn't ask for that, but I'm not saying I take bribes. But let's just say this race is amazing. I would recommend everyone go to it. Spend your hard-earned money. Sign up for the Minuteman Road Club's cyclocross race next fall.
So it's not UCI.
Nope.
It's just like an old school grassroots cyclocross race. Is it USA Cycling?
Oh yeah.
How many people?
Total, I don't know, but all the fields were healthy size. 30, 40 people.
Nice.
Healthy sized.
Yeah.
That's a good expression. I like that.
American sized. But yeah, go check it out. It was awesome. There was like I said, I got to start on the front row. I haven't done that in a long time, and I was kind of nervous and slipped a pedal. So that was great. I haven't done that in probably 5 years. So,
I thought you guys did the
scared.
little tactic where you're clipped in and then like you have a little bit of pressure on your front brake so you can have forward momentum going for when
Yeah,
you
you
release
Still
the
gotta,
brake.
you
Still
still
gotta-
gotta clip in the other foot,
Ah,
unless you're some sort of floating magic man.
yeah.
I see.
This is
So,
the
guys, I
BMX
still
track.
have not done a cyclocross race this season. Hoping to make my debut at the end of the month here for the Halloween cyclocross race, in which I am promoting with a couple of friends of mine. And, we've kind of slowed up a little bit on the costume ideas that I asked for. So, once again, let me know what you're thinking. Now, my business partner at Swift, Keith Richards, has a really good idea for us. I think we've got it figured out. I'm pretty excited. Let's just say it contains some face paint.
You know what you should be? I got a good one for you, Tim.
What should I be?
Do you have a buddy in the race who you know is going to beat you?
Yes.
Okay, you should
Tim, do
get
you know
them to
anyone
go.
who's going to be in the race?
You should get them to go as a 56K modem, and you should go as what were the lower ones, like 26K.
Oh, that's a good one.
See,
And then the first
See who
place
gets
guy
to the
goes
fifth.
as DSL.
yeah, first place guy's DSL. I like that. I mean,
What?
because you could build a good little cardboard box around yourself that just says
No,
56K.
little guy, we talked last week about there not being a need for a cardboard box.
Yeah, that's true. So
Is
Tim,
that
I
a
think
thing I want cardboard?
maybe you and your buddy, whoever this is in the race, can get a couple of matching body suits, bright green body suits, and you can be those dudes from the NHL that sit right next to the penalty box.
The Vancouver Canucks guys.
Yeah.
They're like
You'd be those
making all the crazy movements.
exactly because it's cyclocross. You're making lots of crazy movements.
What do these guys do? They make like crazy movements next to the penalty box to upset the opposing penalty team.
Well,
Yes.
they get on TV basically. Yeah.
So there's a guy sitting in the penalty box, and then right next to him are these two guys wearing green suits, and they're just making all types of crazy gestures and mimicking them, and the hockey players get all angry, squirt water at them, good
Yep.
stuff.
Do they get extra penalty time for squirting water?
No,
Hockey is so fucked up. If you squirted water at anyone in a cycling race, you'd get thrown out of the race. Like remember when Cipollini threw a bottle at the motorcycle that one time?
Oh yeah, 2003.
One time.
Get
Remember
Marvel
remember the one time I remember? Yeah. I mean,
That's beautiful.
if you did that in hockey, you'd probably get a pay raise.
If you did that and you were a pit mechanic and you were in the pit at a cyclocross race, you could get your rider disqualified according to UCI rules.
They were at the Trek thing, they were very explicit about what you could and could not do with water and hydration. Like
Yeah.
at their instructions when you
What
started
could you
the
do?
race, they're like, I don't know. You could have it on your bike, you go in the pit and get it from another bike or get fed in the pit. I don't know. I didn't have anyone in the pit or any water on my bike, so I just didn't really pay attention.
was it pretty
too
hot
busy.
there, little guy?
It was stupid hot. It was like 80 effing degrees.
Wow.
It was really hot. It was really dusty. It was really bumpy. That's what it always is there. But no, it was way too hot. Most people were running bottles yesterday. I didn't bring a bottle cage, so I couldn't put one on. So I took it off to go because I was like, I'm going to race cross now. It's not the training bike anymore. So I took the bottle cage off and I didn't have a bottle cage. So I should have brought it with because I didn't expect it to be quite so hot.
That's
so,
a very
anyway.
rational thought process.
It was, though I could have just left it on because I could still shoulder the bike with the cage on.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Well, dudes, another fantastic episode of the Slow Ride Podcast.
That's it? We don't have anything else to talk about?
Do we have more?
We're at 35
We
minutes.
haven't we haven't talked about if we had any tweets or any reviews or any emails. I don't know.
Well, Tim clearly wants to
I had
go.
one thing. I had a thing to talk about.
What do you got?
That the Euro Tour will be decided tomorrow at some little race called the Nationale Slutenprijs Putkapellen.
Nailed it.
What's the
Nailed
Euro
it.
Tour?
It's like below. So you know how like Valverde won the World Tour?
Oh, is this the continental one?
Yeah, like every region has their own tour, and it's our former 16th place champion Edward Thunes.
Okay.
Is like 16 points behind Buhani.
Ooh.
So Thunes has to like get first or second or something. He has to finish way up there to take back the title, but probably not. Buhani will probably win the title, but Thunes is riding well. There's a chance. He finished like 7th at Paris Tours, so he's in good form. So it's coming down to the wire tomorrow. I've tried to find a link to watch this race, and I haven't been able to find one yet.
Yeah, good luck.
So I have no recommendations for all you people out there how you can listen or watch.
So
I don't know.
Tuesday afternoon race is going to decide the Euro Tour.
Yeah, right. A Tuesday, mid-October, really coming down to the wire. Probably really exciting.
Is this
No
on
idea.
like Trebro Leon level?
I think this is like way below Trebon Leon because you could find coverage of that and people know about it. I think this is like just happens to be the last race of the year.
So do you think Cofidis goes all out for Buhani to take the win?
Well,
Or
I
do
think
you-
it's for sure. I mean, why not? You think they're gonna like botch it for him on purpose?
No, maybe just not even show him there. Like just like, hey, no one knows about this race, so we're not going to go anyway.
Well, Thunes has to like win, basically. So I mean, they probably don't have to do too much. But Thunes' Top Sport team, I guess, is going to win the team competition for it. So
Oh, nice. Good for
despite
them.
being like a team of basically barely more than amateurs, like a developmental squad, they're going to win that Euro Tour compared to all these teams like Confidence that have like a zillion
I
dollars.
thought like 5 or 6 of their dudes though like got called up to like Quick Steps and all these teams like this year.
But
Like,
that's
a bunch of dudes
But
got
that's
signed.
not so. They did, but I mean, like Thunes is leaving.
Yeah,
I think he's going to Quick Step.
everybody's going
Maybe
to Quick
I don't
Step.
know. Yeah, but that's what happens to them like every year, and then they're like consistently good. They're like the greatest high school basketball team that like keeps being great.
Hey, speaking of which, how about Team Columbia might be going away? Did you see that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did see that.
It's kind of sad.
That's sad. It is sad.
Mm-hmm.
They brought a lot of good riders over.
You sure did.
Was it?
They
What is
have-
the reason? Did
but-
you hear why?
I think just lack of funds. I mean, I think the government's going to be pulling out some of the money, but I mean, look at the success that they have brought. I mean, look at how many Colombian cyclists now. I mean, it's got to be one of the more popular countries by nationality in the world. I mean, it's very impressive with what they've got. So
It's such a shame that they'd pull back now. You know, I mean, it feels almost like how in the late '80s and stuff you had the Cafe de Colombia team, and you had this great generation of Colombian cyclists, and then they pulled out, and you had this big gap for years and years
it
until
was not a gap. It was Santiago Botero, and he served just fine.
Is he Colombian?
Yes, he's Colombian.
Okay, so we had one really dope cyclist.
So
Let's bring back the
I didn't know you were a
Calmay
Botero
kids.
fan. Oh God, Calmay! What a terrible, terrible team.
Well, yeah, but
They
had
brought
a
us Valverde though.
Nice kit. They had a nice kit.
Valverde used to race for Kelme.
Yeah, that's why they called him the Green Bullet originally.
Huh?
Yeah.
That wasn't even green on their kit though. It was like a
They had
mint.
green on their kit, like the Kelme said. Well,
Yeah, it was
green and mint. I mean, really? Like
lime.
they couldn't call him the Minty Bullet. the gum shot.
That sounds like a new beer from Coors.
Yeah.
The mint
Minty
bullet.
Bullet. Oh man, get that new mint beer while you can. It's only available for 3 weeks.
It only has 63 calories.
So there is. I forget her name. I could look it up, I guess. There's a woman in the pro field at Trek. She finished like 6th or 7th both days, I think. She's sponsored by Michelob.
Good for her.
There you go.
Is she out of? I mean, there's a lot of money there. They're not wasting it on Lance anymore, but they've obviously invested it in cycling.
Yeah, sort of, kind of, a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hard to complain. Take that paycheck. But
Yeah.
so, little guy.
Hold on, I'm gonna get her name so I can give some real credit.
Yeah. So you went to Trek Cup.
Sonny
and-
Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Sonny Gilbert. Michelob Ultra, Big Shark Racing.
it's out of St. Louis.
Is it?
It makes
Okay.
sense. Gotta get in that market.
What?
Are
Yeah,
you a
were you-
little regretful you didn't get on an airplane and go to Charm City this past weekend, little guy? Seemed like
I'm not. As we talked about earlier in the podcast, I barely understand what airplanes are, and I'm afraid of technology.
that's very true. I know, but you should also be afraid of C1s.
I'm not really afraid of C1s. They're just like C2s, except Powers doesn't come. That's it. Other than that, they're exactly the same. There's just Powers in one and no Powers in the next. Like,
Yeah.
Was Trek?
I don't
C1?
understand. Yeah, it was C1 Saturday. I don't understand why people go like, oh man. Like, I'll talk to people and they'll be like, oh man, this is a C1. I'm worried about the C1. Like, it's the same. It's the exact same bike race, except Powers is there.
Yeah.
So that does mean that like guys like me have to go a little harder not to get lapped. So I had a better chance Sunday.
Powers
But
is
it's
there,
not that different.
But there's also like 6 or 7 or 8 other dudes that are also there because he's there and they want to be challenged by the best guys, you know. And
But they're there the next day too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like they don't leave.
but you know where they're not?
You know?
Charm City. So if you want to try and
But
get
there's
your
plenty
result,
of fast dudes in Charms.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a better chance to get, you know, if you're the guy hunting for the 1 point, you know, like that 10th place, that's where to go, right?
I guess. I just start feeling like the point hunting. I mean, one. There's not going to be enough people with points again at nationals, so they're just going to let in everybody that wants to go. They're going to do the same thing they did last year. They're going to be like, "Oh, sweet, we only have 15 people signed up for nationals."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, so like even if you take all the people that have points, maybe only 70% of them can go. Maybe only 60% of them do go. You end up with this teeny ass little field. Like they're going to do the same thing where they're just going to have to let people in by petition. Because my God, how many Cat 1-2s are there in the country? Like the smallest percentage of Cat 1-2 cross racers actually tries to go to nationals, even if it's a big field.
Yeah.
Well, it's a total waste of money to go all that way, right? To go all that way to do nationals where it might get canceled.
So
That's
where-
just bike racing in general.
this
Let's
gets
just
us
say,
into a
let's just
whole
say in
new
general,
thing.
it's a total waste of money to do bike racing.
Well, you know, they
Yeah.
set up they just released the national schedule, and that caused a big kerfuffle on the internet. They switched things up a little bit, and the masters are pissed. Everybody's pissed, you know, because things got moved around, and you know, so if you wanted to race your masters category, you race on Tuesday, and you can't hang out until Sunday to watch the elite race and things like that. So, but they
when
made
have the Masters not been? So
well, they made room for an industry race, which, you know, I'm excited to see who our bicycle industry national champion is. They've got something on the schedule called a donut race.
Ooh.
They've got like
what happens in that?
no idea, no
Wait, what happens
explanation.
in the donut race?
There's no explanation, but I want to be donut national champion. I think they've got like a collegiate relay race. They've got all kinds of ridiculous stuff on there, so it's a kind of a mess. Nobody's happy, basically. They took
so do you
something
know-
people weren't really happy with and made it worse.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm gonna go to that.
Yeah. So North Carolina, Asheville, it's coming up.
Well,
sure
at
it'll
least
be
it's
fine.
not Reno, man. I mean, Reno's already causing controversy, and it's I don't know, forever away.
Yeah, Reno will
It's
be.
not causing any controversy. It looks amazing.
It'll be 2017, right? Reno. I saw a video
Well,
of that.
When's Hartford in there?
2018.
2018,
Oh, okay.
dude, I'd hang my hat in Hartford.
Okay.
That's going to be the last race for Little Guy. Is in Hartford.
No, probably not. But I mean, I just wanted to reference some promise ring
Oh, okay.
Good
on
job.
this show. Oh, you guys, I think there's a fly in my wine. Yeah, there's a fly in my wine.
Is that another Promise Ring reference that I don't know?
No, that's like actually real. Like I looked over at my wine and a fly has landed in it and it's just on the top of my. It's trying to get out, but it's not. And it's too far down in the wine glass. My finger can't reach it. Anyway,
Riveting stuff.
that's real stuff. Hey, before we go, I wanted to give a shout out to Corey Coogan Sissick from the local area here. You guys know her. She was 1 second behind Katie Compton in 14th place.
That's awesome.
At the Trek. And so I was really, I mean, she had a great race. A lot of locals had great races, but
Wow,
she's
that's
1 second behind Katie Compton. I was really pulling for her to catch her. She was gaining on her the last
Wow.
lap, and
That's a great.
Compton.
With all due
That could be like the moment.
with all due
you know?
respect, I mean that's kind of a bad result for Katie at her sponsor's race. Was there something outside of it? I mean, I know how good Corey Coogan is. This isn't taken away from her effort, but
Yeah,
we're talking one of the
course.
best racers in the world. Did something happen?
I don't know. You know, so Saturday, Compton was kind of yo-yoing with the front group, but they came in four women into the last lap. They went into the woods. 3 came out. Katie Compton was not there, and then she came out and she was like covered in dirt. It looks like she went down. So I don't know if she was feeling the effects from going down the previous day, but she just never seemed to be really in the mix on Sunday.
She's been
but
known
she
to
stayed
have like the asthma attacks too.
Yeah, and it was really hot and crappy. I gotta say though, like I gained more respect for Katie Compton that she stayed in the race and she didn't just pull out. Like I can see a lot of people like, you know, I mean, she basically just dominates everything in America, and she's not right now, and that's got to be hard after like what she's won 11 national championships or something in a row. Yeah, and obviously she's the most dominant American cross racer ever. So to stay in it and like be able, like, I mean, that just psychologically that's got to be hard. And so the fact that she just like she's doing these races even though she's not quite yet at peak form, and that even when she's having like, you know, like 4th is an off day for her. So when she's like in the teens, that's like a way off day. But that she stays in it and she like kept on it and raced the whole time and didn't seem like she was like, I'm giving up or anything. I mean, she just like kept racing. And yeah, I mean, anyway, more respect to her for still racing. I
think that's some good points.
Pretty cool.
I mean, I'm going to have to use that for when I'm way off the back because I've never won anything close. But if she can stay in it, then I'm not going to quit. Like for real.
Yeah,
I think that
it's totally different. Like if you like win everything, I mean, can you imagine like being like, I mean, like you get a result that's still a good result at a national level race, but it's like, just, I mean, it's not at all what you do. I mean, it's definitely got to be difficult and whatever. So, more respect to her that she stays in it. Man. That's hard.
Well, cool. Well, guys, that was an awesome episode of the Slow Ride Podcast.
Yeah,
it was good.
That was
nice catching up. I'm happy to be back in the States and not in Kona.
Yeah, that's in the States though. You do know that
is it?
That's part of our country. It's been for a while.
So
most of, I'd say, all your lifetime,
at least. Thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. You make this so much fun for us, and we do appreciate it. Continue to email us at theslowridepodcast@gmail.com. We've got a nice email we're going to get to next week, talking about accidents and who's at fault. And then we've got a Twitter account at @theslowridepod. Tweet us. We love reading tweets on the air. And review us on iTunes and Stitcher. We'd like to thank BK1 for the use of his track Tema Do Cannibal off the album Radio Do Cannibal, available on Rhyme Center's Entertainment. Awesome album. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to us on iTunes. And then definitely leave us a review. We're a little light on reviews. There's no reviews this week to read. So,
Nothing. Damn.
with that being said,
We gotta
I
start
now have to
faking
give you the most
this.
important advice ever.
Okay.
Always,
Please tell.
always wear spandex and wave at your fellow spandex clown suit wearing nerds when you pass them out there on the road.
Now, is that
Wave at
because
everybody.
shaming time is training time, so that you get in more? I mean, you're just getting in the miles, like you're at work and you've still got it on underneath.
Yes.
So
If
Shammy
you've
time is
got
training
it
time
on, you
when
have
you're
to
waving.
wave.
If you've-
That's how it
If you've
works.
got it on, you got to wave at a bike.
It's the
And as
law.
for us, we'll catch up with you again next week. And until that time, don't be that guy.
The Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at TheSlowRidePod.
Sluten Pris Put Kapellen.
Nailed it.